Becoming a member of the UFC roster is an impressive accomplishment in and of itself. Of course, for those who truly wish to make their mark in the sport of mixed martial arts, it's essential to make the most of one's time inside the octagon. So, for those who love a good first impression, we've decided to take a look at 10 of the most remarkable debuts in UFC history. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Now, without further ado, and ranked in no particular order, let's take a look at 10 of the best debuts in UFC history. Number 10. Michael Chandler vs Dan Hooker. For many years, Michael Chandler had long been considered one of the best fighters outside of the UFC. While competing for Bellator, the former Division 1 wrestler defeated former UFC champions like Eddie Alvarez and Benson Henderson. After a roughly 10-year-long stint with Bellator that included 3 lightweight title reigns, Chandler officially signed with the UFC in September of 2020. At UFC 257, the 34-year-old finally stepped into the octagon for the first time, as he faced the always dangerous Dan the Hangman Hooker. As it turned out, it didn't take Chandler long to silence any critics who questioned his ability to compete on MMA's grandest stage. As, just a few minutes into the match, the former Bellator champ landed a fighting shot that led to a TKO victory in the first round. By beating a fighter as highly ranked as the Hangman, and doing so in dominant fashion, Chandler has put himself firmly in the title picture despite having only fought once in the UFC. Number 9. Conor McGregor vs Marcus Brimage. The notorious Conor McGregor has gone on to become one of the most recognised athletes in the world. However, back in April of 2013, he was an unknown fighter out of Dublin, making his UFC debut on the prelims of a Fight Night card in Stockholm, Sweden. The event featured the Notorious One taking on former Ultimate Fighter contestant Marcus Brimage. Interestingly enough, the contest occurred back when preliminary fights were shown for free on Facebook. For those who viewed the bout on the popular social media outlet, they were able to see the beginning of McGregor's meteoric rise. That evening, the Irishman managed to stun Brimage with a well-timed uppercut on his way to securing a TKO victory in little over a minute. The hardcore fans who watched the prelims that night witnessed the impressive debut of a man who would go on to become the most famous mixed martial artist on the planet. Number 8. Junior Dos Santos vs Fabricio Werdum. Brazilian heavyweight Junior Dos Santos is another fighter whose first UFC bout foreshadowed the outstanding career ahead of them. Dos Santos introduced himself to UFC fans back in October of 2008 at UFC 90. The card featured JDS taking on another future heavyweight champion in fellow Brazilian Fabricio Werdum. This heavyweight battle came to an abrupt end when Dos Santos landed a brutal uppercut that sent his opponent crashing to the mat. The entire affair ended up lasting just 1 minute and 20 seconds. His knockout of the night performance would mark the beginning of a 9-fight win streak with the promotion that included a reign as UFC heavyweight champion. Number 7. Anderson Silva vs Chris Leben. Prior to entering the UFC fray, Anderson the Spider Silva had already made a name for himself in promotions like Pride and Cage Rage. As such, the Brazilian Muay Thai specialist was immediately thrust into a title eliminator bout upon arriving in the UFC. It would be the crippler Chris Leben who would have the task with welcoming the Spider. In 2006, the two went head-to-head at UFC Fight Night 5, with a shot at middleweight gold hanging in the balance. Once the fight began, Silva was quick to showcase the high-level striking that would make him a legend in the UFC. After absorbing several big shots, Chris was hit with a nasty knee that proceeded to knock him out cold. In total, it took Silva just 49 seconds to earn a victory that put the entire UFC middleweight division on notice. Number 6. Alistair Overeem vs Brock Lesnar. Much like Anderson Silva, Alistair the Demolition Man Overeem was sporting an impressive MMA resume prior to his UFC debut. As a result, the promotion immediately threw him into the deep waters of the heavyweight division. His first opponent in the UFC would be former heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar, with the two competing in the main event of UFC 141. While Overeem did enter the contest as a slight betting favourite, his dominant performance suggested that the line shouldn't have been so close. Once the fight got underway, the Demolition Man landed some brutal body shots that paved the way for a first-round TKO victory. In the end, Overeem had defeated a former heavyweight champion and one of the sport's biggest stars in just under 2.5 minutes. Number 5. Chan Sung Jung vs Leonard Garcia. The Korean zombie JUNG is one of the most exciting fighters in all of mixed martial arts. In his UFC debut, the talented featherweight showcased the skills that helped to make him a fan favourite among many MMA fans. His first opponent inside the UFC octagon was another fighter who was also known for their electrifying performances in Leonard Garcia. The two had previously met at WEC 48 back in 2010, with Garcia emerging the victor via split decision. This time around, the Korean zombie was able to avenge his loss in dramatic fashion. In fact, he even made history by becoming the first UFC fighter to finish a bout by utilising a submission hold known as the Twister. Thanks to his flashy finishing, Jung would earn both Submission of the Night and Submission of the Year honours to kickstart his UFC career. Number 4. Justin Gaethje vs Michael Johnson. It didn't take UFC fans long to realise why Justin Gaethje's nickname is the Highlight. The heavy-handed lightweight has a knack for putting opponents to sleep and has yet to go the distance in his 8 UFC contests. Gaethje's promotional debut came against Michael Johnson and was an instant classic that earned both men a Fight of the Night bonus. At the Ultimate Fighter Redemption finale in 2017, the two men were involved in an absolute war that had fans on the edge of their seats. However, the Highlight would eventually wear his opponent down and land a fight-ending knee in the closing moments of the second round. With his remarkable performance, Justin Gaethje showed the world why he is must-see TV. Number 3. Ronda Rousey vs Liz Carmouche. Former Olympian-turned-UFC champion Ronda Rousey is largely responsible for bringing women's MMA into the UFC. Her marketability and dominance in the cage helped make the Rowdy one of the biggest stars in MMA history. In February of 2013, Rousey made history by competing in the first women's fight in the UFC. That night, she faced top contender Liz Carmouche in the main event of UFC 157. Though she entered the fight as a massive betting underdog, Liz Carmouche managed to give Ronda Rousey a bit of a scare by taking her back and sinking in a rear naked choke. However, Ronda Rousey was able to escape and managed to put an end to the fight with a first round armbar. The historic contest showed just how marketable women's MMA could be and helped to open the door for female fighters across the world. Number 2. Royce Gracie vs Art Jimmerson. Royce Gracie is a fighter who would go on to become the UFC's first major star, while also introducing the world to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. A member of the legendary Gracie Jiu-Jitsu family, Royce made his debut back in 1993 as part of the inaugural tournament at UFC 1. The Brazilian's first opponent was a former Golden Gloves boxing champion by the name of Art One Glove Jimmerson. Oddly enough, Jimmerson earned his nickname during a bout in which he competed with a single boxing glove on his left hand. Despite being incredibly memorable, the glove did not play a factor in the fight, as Gracie quickly managed to secure a takedown and submit the former boxer with relative ease. The bout showed fans how effective high-level grappling could be in an actual fight, while also marking the beginning of Royce Gracie's rise to stardom. Number 1. TODD DUFFEE vs Tim Hague. Heavyweight Todd the Irish Carbon Duffee is a knockout artist who has made short work of more than a few opponents. Despite unfortunately struggling with health issues throughout his career, he has proven to be very dangerous when he's able to compete. At UFC 102, the Irish Carbon made his promotional debut against another capable striker in Tim Hague. As it turned out, the heavyweight showdown would be a short-lived affair to say the least. A well-timed left sent Hague to the canvas in a contest that lasted just 7 seconds. In his first fight with the promotion, TODD DUFFEE had set the record for the fastest knockout in the heavyweight division. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Apart from that, thanks so much for watching guys, and we'll see you on the next video.